Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we are going to talk about the arrhythmias in the ECG interpretation. It is basically A in the mnemonic Rahib. This is the second A of mnemonic Rahib. So let's start with the atrial arrhythmias. We will discuss the ventricular arrhythmias in the next video. So let's start with the premature atrial contractions, also called ectopic atrial beats or extrasystole. In this case, there is abnormal focus within the atrium, which sometimes fires prior to its normal time and causes a premature beat production within the atria. And atria contracts prior to its normal time, which leads to the abnormal contraction of ventricle as well before its normal time. So in the ECG findings, there is abnormal P wave which is not similar as that of the P wave because of SA node. If the P wave is abnormal in this case, the rhythm is overall regular, but it is irregular at the site of ectopic beat, and the QRS complex is normal. Now look at this ECG. In this ECG, this P wave is not normal. The shape of this P wave is not normal, and also this is a ectopic beat, and here this is also an ectopic beat. There are two ectopic beats in this ECG paper. Overall, the RR interval distance is same except at the sides of the ectopic beat. As you can see, there is abnormal P wave, but the QRS complexes are normal and the rhythm is overall normal, except the distance between the RR interval is reduced at the ectopic beats. Overall, the distance in the other RR waves is same except at the ectopic beats, where the rhythm is irregular. That is, the distance between the RR interval is reduced because of premature contractions in the heart. So this was the premature atrial contractions. We have discussed the findings in the ECG. This is the case of premature atrial contractions. Now come, this is more commonly, this is a very common disorder and can be found in 50% of the normal healthy individuals, but sometimes it may be a precursor of ischemic heart disorders. Now come to the second disorder, that is atrial flutter. In the atrial flutter, there is a single irritable focus is present within the atrium and causes the contractions of the atria multiple times before reaching the waves into the ventricle. So here there is a circus pattern like this. There is a circus pattern, contraction of atria multiple times, and then after multiple contractions of the atria, there is a AV nodal delay, and then some electrical activity comes into the ventricle uh, because of the AV nodal delay. The atrial rate here in this case is 250 to 350 beats per minute, but the ventricular rate is less than 150. That is half of the atrial rate because of the AV nodal delay. In this case, because of multiple contractions of the atria, there are multiple P waves are produced in the ECG paper, but after the multiple P waves, there is a single QRS complex. So here the atrial to ventricular contraction ratio is usually 3:1 or 4:1. Now look at this ECG paper. There are three P waves and then one QRS complex. Three P waves and one QRS complex. Again, three P waves and one QRS complex. In short, we can say that the ECG of the atrial flutter gives the pattern of sawtooth like pattern. Sawtooth. These sawtooth pattern in the ECG. These tooth are basically nothing but the P waves. These P waves acts like a tooth, and the remaining tooth of the saw, and the remaining, these are the QRS complexes. So this was the atrial flutter. Now come to the next ECG, that is atrial fibrillation. In the atrial fibrillation in the heart, there are multiple abnormal foci in the atria and causes multiple contractions of the ventricle. There is a continuous firing from the atria because of the multiple abnormal foci causes the irregular contractions of the ventricle. So irregular ventricular beat is produced. Here the atrial rate is more than 400 beats per minute, but the ventricular rate is 75 to 175 beats per minute, and this ventricular rate is irregular, and this ventricular rate is less as compared to atrial rate because of this AV nodal delay. So this is the ECG of the atrial fibrillation. Here you can see there is irregular RR intervals. Here the distance, the distance between the RR interval is irregular, as there are 3.5 boxes in these RR waves and 2.5 boxes in these RR waves. So the RR interval is irregular. RR interval is irregular. Also there is irregular baseline. As you can see the baseline, there is wavy baseline or wavy pattern baseline. So there is wavy pattern baseline, wavy pattern baseline in the ECG. Also P waves cannot be differentiated, cannot be appreciated, can't be appreciated in this ECG because of multiple contractions from the atria. The atrial rate is very high, that is more than 400 beats per minute. So the irregular baseline along with the irregular RR intervals, so this is called irregularly irregular rhythm. So this is the case of irregularly irregular rhythm in the ECG pattern. This is the diagnosis is atrial fibrillation. Now come to the ECG interpretation of the supraventricular tachycardia, that is within the pathologies in the atria. First, we will discuss the AVNRT, that is atrioventricular nodal reentrant tachycardia. Reentrant means there is a depolarization is re-entered into the atrium. Here the pathology is in the AV node. In the AV node, two pathways are created. One is slow pathway and the other is fast pathway. In the normal electrical activity, there is firing from the SA node from into the atria, and from atria into AV node, and then into the bundle of His and the reach the ventricles. But here the pathology is in the AV node. When the firing starts from the SA node and enters the AV node, there is a circuit formation or re-entrance of the electrical activity from the first. It causes the contraction of ventricle, and then again the electrical activity in the retrograde fashion enters back into the atrium and causes the atrial contraction. As first from the electrical activity starts from the SA node, then into the atria, and then AV node, and then finally reach the ventricles. But here the problem is in the AV node. It causes first, there is a electrical activity when passed from the AV node, it causes the first contraction of ventricle, and at the same time after the ventricle contraction there is a backward flow of the electrical activity from ventricles into the AV node and AV node into the atria. So there is a simultaneous contraction of first ventricle and then sudden contraction of atria. Due to the contraction of ventricle, there is a QRS complex, and due to the retrograde, that is backward contraction of the atria, inverted P wave is produced. As you can see, when we will combine this P wave with this QRS complex, the shape of the QRS complex becomes like this. This is the not S wave. This is basically a fused P wave which occurs after the QRS complex. This is called pseudo S wave or inverted P wave, and formed in some cases of AVNRT after the QRS complex. Now look at is this ECG. There is regular RR interval, that is regular rhythm tachycardia, regular rhythm tachycardia, tachycardia. But here the P wave is buried in the QRS complex, or in some cases it appears after the QRS complex, or in some cases it cannot be appreciated or cannot be detected, that is it is absent or buried within the QRS complex. So P wave buried in QRS complex, QRS complex, and the rate and rhythm is normal, and there is a tachycardia, but tachycardia is regular in this case. 1.5 box intervals, there is one and a half large box, and this is regular tachyarrhythmia or regular tachycardia. And you can see in this ECG paper that after the QRS complex there is inverted P wave, it is buried into the QRS complex, but the tachycardia is at the regular pattern. So these two are the findings in the ECG. Now look at this lead number 2 in the ECG. There is buried P wave and QRS complex at the regular intervals, but the heart rate is more than 150 in this case. So this was AV and RT. The pathology was in the AV node. There is reentrance of electrical activity from the ventricles and then AV node, and from the AV node into the atria. Now look at the Wolff Parkinson's White syndrome. In the WPW syndrome, there is an abnormal activity or abnormal pathway is created between the atria and the ventricle, and this is called bundle of Kent and produces the electrical activity. Here there is no AV nodal delay because the new pathway is created between the atria and ventricle. It causes the sudden contractions, but there is loss of AV nodal delay because of this new pathway in between the atria and the ventricle. So there is no AV nodal delay. Due to no AV nodal delay, the PR intervals duration is reduced. PR interval duration is reduced. PR interval, because of no AV nodal delay. In this case, there is short PR interval. It causes a premature ventricular excitation. Normally the PR interval is duration is 0.12 to 0.2 second, that is 3 to 5 small boxes, but here it is less than 3 small boxes. And also there is abnormal delta wave prior to QRS complex. There is abnormal delta wave prior to QRS complex. Now look at this ECG. There is reduced PR interval duration, P wave, then this is the delta wave, and then QRS complex. Look at this pattern. There is a P wave and then sudden upward deflection, that is delta wave, and then QRS complex, and reduced duration of QPR interval because of no AV nodal delay and because of abnormal pathways created between the atria and the ventricle, which causes premature ventricular excitations. So this was whole about the atrial and supraventricular tachyarrhythmias. We will discuss the ventricular arrhythmias in the next video. Thank you so much for watching this video.